can do that.
Good evening, everyone, afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting of the Peoria Greater Peoria Mass Transit District meeting to order. This is Monday, March 21st, 2022. We're at 2105 North East Jefferson Avenue, Peoria, Illinois, 1603. And we'd like to start. Okay, we would like to start with roll call.
All right. Trustee Wortham.
Present.
Trustee Ahart.
Present.
Trustee Hare.
Present.
Trustee McBride.
Present.
Trustee Sterling Polk.
Present.
And now Nick will lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Okay. You received the you received the minutes from February 14th, 2022 meeting. Are there any corrections or additions? Hearing none, they stand approved as circulated. Okay. Receipt and reading of communications. Doug, do we have any?
I have none this evening.
Okay. Report of officers. Any reports? Okay. Report standing committees.
I just want to tell everybody that I have a fantastic team that's working with me to help with the ADA WOW event that we're going to have in July. We have Christine, we have Desiree, we have Emily, so everybody is pitching in and it's going to be phenomenal and we'll just keep you posted.
July, what date?
26th. It'll be
Okay.
5 to 7 and it will be someplace in the parking lot of the Civic Center. We just don't know exactly where yet.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Chairman, I do now.
Okay.
Just wanted to bring everybody's attention that this year we'll be participating in the Komen More Than a Pink Walk. This will be back to normal day of the Saturday before Mother's Day, which this year falls on May 7th. The City Link will provide vehicles to transport people to the event, pick up passengers after the event as part of the Park and Ride event that we've done for many years. I just want to bring this to everyone's attention. Last year we had one rider, so anybody could take advantage of that. That would be outstanding.
So we have more than one, right?
One rider, yeah.
Yeah. Any more reports? More reports? Okay, thank you. Now we have a report from the general manager.
All right. Seemed like a pretty busy month last month. Finally getting back into the swing of doing a little traveling. So went to a transit summit. This was mainly composed of vendors and other transit professionals. They keep us hopping pretty good for 2.5 days. The vendors showing us their new products, and then we also have breakout sessions with different issues with other transit general managers, purchasing, HR people, that type of thing. It was a pretty good conference. I hadn't been to it for a few years. Then I had a rural transportation conference in Springfield. Highlight of that, I got to meet with the IDOT folks and talk about our project a little bit. So, and then last week I was in Washington, D.C. for the legislative conference. I did get a meet with Congressman LaHood. We talked about various projects that were going on here in Peoria. We talked about the redistricting as well. His district now will move to more the rural section of Peoria, and the city side is going to flip-flop with whoever takes over for Sherry Busto's district. And so it sounds like there'll be a primary, and then there's like 7 people, I think, running right now, so pretty contested. And then he'll have competition in his district as well. So, some changes there coming maybe, so. But then the rest of the senators wanted to meet virtually, and Illinois Public Transit Association is setting that up later on in this month, so we'll be talking to them. The big thing the other thing at the legislative conference was all the funding that we got, so everybody was pretty excited about that. They made the announcement, or they passed the bill finally. We'd known how much was on the table, but they finally solidified it. The only thing we're waiting now for is they've told us how much the 5307, the 5339 funding will be, but they haven't broke out what the allocations are specifically. So we should be hearing that the next week or two, which should be another good boost for us as well. Ridership was up about 8% this last month, so we're happy with that. And we did find out we were unsuccessful on a Lono bus application. We put in an application for 16 little minivans for the microtransit study. We didn't get funded on that. We'll have a meeting to find out what was wrong with our application. But then they also announced that Lono and Bus Facility are going together for an application. I think it's due the end of May. And so we'll reapply there. We're trying to decide which ones we want to go for and what we're going to throw in the application. But that was the other big thing at the conference, that I think there's $1.5 billion on the table, and they want to make sure that we overextend that. So they want all applications, as many as we can get in there.
Okay.
To kind of show the Congress and Senate that, yeah, there is still a need out there. So, and like I said, if you don't get funded, at least it helps you find out what you need to do for further funding applications. So it's not a total loss.
Okay.
So other than that, I think that was kind of the highlights. Oh, we rolled out the new service. In my humble opinion, I think it's going well. We didn't have a lot of glitches the first 3 days. We found a few since then. We made adjustments. I was down on the platform most of the time, and those that wanted to talk to me said they thought it was going to work okay. So, yeah. We're going to have another meeting to find out. We're kind of going over all the questions, concerns, all the feedback we've got. Hopefully do that this week or next week, and then kind of separate that out and figure out if we need to make some immediate adjustments or next bid run or down the run.
Okay.
So.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Doug. Update on the new facility.
We've had an exciting month. We've got a lot done back there. RCC installed the skylights. PIPCO's been installing ductwork and insulating. They're working on the controls for the paint booth. A&J's been running conduit wire and electrical panels are coming up and working, almost working. Drag Group completed all the painting, and all the touch-up will be completed in the next few weeks. Stoneheart completed the residence flooring. I think that's the next one. Let's see. Came out really nice. We've also got the sealed concrete completed up in the mezzanine and in the restroom and the office. And then RCC put down floor protection while the contractors get back in to do overhead mechanicals. As far as the BC&D, we finalized bid packages and submitted all of that for IDOT and the team here to review. We also completed some safety meetings with the employees to kind of run through the logistics of how phase B, C, and D will go, and how fencing will be set up. And then our budget update, which Nick will discuss, if the new GMP would be the 43.6, if you guys reviewed that. But that's the logistics plan up and coming, where the employee parking will be once that 1978 building comes down. Then that red line is the fencing that will go around and
that'll be used for just the construction area at that time. Any questions?
Okay. Any questions?
I know I talk fast, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Me too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Angel. Hello.
So in addition to the report you have, let's give you a couple of the highlights. Our on-time performance was 86% in February, which is down a little year over year from last year. However, this year we did have several snow days. Again, I think I mentioned this last month, but I want to say it again. I'm really proud of my staff, even though we had a significantly reduced service on the snow days. We still provided all the dialysis trips that wanted to go. So we got everyone where they needed to be, including one day that City Link itself was shut down, we still ran. So very proud of that. Our productivity is very strong at 2.38%. Our ridership at 6977. Now that is up on the county side, about 81% year over year from last year. And it was about this time last year where the ridership started coming back. This month will be a bigger representation of where kind of we're at because most of the agencies came back in March.
Okay.
But some did, they started coming back in February, but March is going to be a lot larger than that. On the city side, our ridership went up 27.55% year over year. Our revenue only went up about 1.94%, but still, every little bit brings us closer to where we need to be. We still are recruiting for drivers. We have had some losses of drivers and some gains, so kind of netting even. We have found a maintenance manager. We promoted our A mechanic, Richard, to the maintenance manager. We then promoted it all worked out beautifully, quite frankly. We promoted our B mechanic to the A mechanic. So we have Aaron as our A mechanic. We have Shanti, who is our C mechanic, has been promoted to B mechanic. Very excited about that. And then we had a driver who has hidden mechanics talent, and he was promoted today, as a matter of fact, to the C mechanic. So we are fully staffed in maintenance, I'm very happy to say. Oh, and we hired another utility worker who was a driver who decided he wanted to change the pace also. So doing really well, at least in the maintenance department, very well. We had different classes start in February. A few of them decided it was not the job for them, which is fine. But we have some others that are really doing extremely well. I have a few individuals from my former company who are wanting to come back. So we've got them in class, very excited. In safety, we conducted a mandatory customer service training with all the dispatchers on February 27th. This session was 2.5 hours, and they learned all about some more information on customer service as well as some equal lane training. And as far as any of the activities, attended the HSTP meeting, the ADA meeting, of course, our board meeting, weekly routine updates with the Assistant Director of Operations. And we did respond to a complaint with the Human Rights Authority regarding some late trip scheduling and customer service related to service in 2021. That actually went very well. I provided them a very detailed report and lots and lots of background data. And then my Assistant General Manager, Lance, and I attended in person with them last week and went over a few more things. And I think they have a better understanding about what we do and what the expectations are, what our responsibilities are, as well as the passengers. I think they were surprised at some of our statistics. Like, for example, last month we had 755 no-shows. So when we go to someone's home and they no-show, that's time that we could have saved to get to the next person. So that has an instant effect on our on-time performance. So hopefully I can work with Shammer on some kind of a way to look at that, and with Patty with the ADA committee. I know it's been addressed years and years and years, and this is a problem throughout the country. This is not unique at all. And it's very, very difficult to enforce a policy. But we're hoping with some of the technology, such as with the app, people will be able to use the app a little bit more they can cancel their rides, view their rides. We've seen some success with that. So we're trying to push that out a lot more. And the people that are using it are liking it, especially to be able to cancel. They can cancel in the middle of the night if they want to. They don't have to wait to dispatch call or gets there. So little by little, things are progressing. So does anyone have any questions?
Questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, public comments. We have one.
Dorothy, are you on the line?
Hello?
Dorothy Wheeler?
Ms. Wheeler, it's time for public comment. I don't think she's out there. See what we have on there.
Couple numbers.
9226523.
See that?
No.
She's not
That's
there?
it, okay?
Okay, that's it, Maxine.
All right, old business, new business. Okay, ordinance 2203. Doug?
Ordinance number 22-03 is a public transit applicant ordinance. An ordinance to provide public transportation in Greater Peoria Mass Transit District in Illinois. Whereas public transportation is an essential public purpose for which public funds may be extended under Article 13, Section 7 of the Illinois Constitution, and whereas the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District wishes to provide public transportation for its citizens and become eligible for grants from the state of Illinois or any department or agency thereof, from any unit of local government, from the federal government, or any department or agency thereof. And whereas Illinois compiled statute 7402-1, etc., authorizes a mass transit district to provide for public transportation within the district limits. Now therefore be it ordained by the general manager and the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District that Section 1, Greater Peoria Mass Transit District shall provide public transportation within the district limits. Section 2, the clerk secretary to the governing board of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District shall file a certified copy of this ordinance within 60 days after passage of this ordinance. Section 3, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval as required by law. Section 4, that the general manager of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, is hereby authorized and directed to execute and file on behalf of Greater Peoria Mass Transit District a grant application to the Illinois Department of Transportation. Section 5, that the general manager of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, is hereby authorized and directed to execute and file on behalf of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District all required grant agreements and the Illinois Department of Transportation. Passed by the general manager and the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District on the 21st day of March 2022 and deposited and filed in the office of the clerk secretary on that date.
Okay, you heard the ordinance. Can we get a second?
Oh, second.
No, I'm sorry, a motion to accept.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I wanted a motion to accept.
Now, what are we doing?
We're accepting that ordinance that gives
Yeah,
us the
but
power to be
What do
the
you-
district.
I make the motion.
Okay, can I get a second? Thank you. It's been moved and second that we approve that ordinance for the
Don't they have to,
Greater Peoria Mass
Christine, don't
Transit.
they have to poll all the members?
Yes,
You have to poll all the
Oh,
members.
you have to poll all the members?
Yes, please. Yes.
Oh, this is just like a money vote, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, you have to call roll.
I'm calling a vote and whatever. No, it's a roll call for approval.
Yeah,
It's a roll call, Kate.
we have to do a
Trustee
roll call.
Wortham,
Approve.
trustee Hare,
Approved.
trustee Ahart,
Approved.
trustee Polk, and trustee McBride approved.
Thank you. And then we have to sign it and send it back to the
And then
state,
Christine will send it back.
back to the state. This gives us authority to spend money, right?
to buy the 5311 grant.
Okay. Mhm. Usually when we talk about applying for grants, we don't do roll call vote, but thank you, it's official. Okay, resolution 2230, Doug?
Okay. I guess I could have prefaced this by saying these are annual resolutions and ordinances that we have to do for 5311 funding. I don't know how to paraphrase it, so you get stuck.
You got to read it all, okay?
Okay. Greater Peoria Mass Transit District Resolution 22-30, acceptance of the special warranty. Whereas Section 5311 of the Federal Transit Act of 1964, as amended, makes funds available to help offset certain operating deficits of a system providing public transit service in non-urbanized areas. And whereas 49 USC 5333B requires that fair and equitable arrangements must be made to protect the interests of employees affected by such assistance as a condition of receipt of funds under Section 5311. And whereas a simplified process for assuring employee protections that accommodate the needs of participants in the Section 5311 program has been agreed upon by the U.S. Department of Labor and the U.S. Department of Transportation by allowing execution of a special Section 5333B warranty for Section 5311 projects, special warranty, which the Secretary of Labor certified on May 31st, 1979. Therefore, be it resolved by the Governing Board of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, Section 1, that an application be made to the Office of Intermodal Project Implementation, Department of Transportation, State of Illinois, for a financial assistance grant under Section 5311 of the Federal Transit Act of 1964 as amended. Section 2, as a condition of receipt of the Section 5311 funds, the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District hereby agrees in writing to the terms and conditions of the special warranty regarding fair and equitable arrangements to protect the interests of employees affected by such assistance. Passed by the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District Board of Trustees on 21st day of March 2022, hopefully.
Can we get a motion to accept this special warranty?
So moved.
Second? Okay, roll call vote.
Acceptance. Trustee Wortham.
Approved, or accepted,
Trustee
okay.
Mayor,
Approved.
Trustee Ahart.
Approved.
Trustee Paul.
Approved.
Trustee McBride approved. Now, would you reread that for us?
Please don't, give her a copy, please. She has one, over there. Thank you, okay, Doug, resolution 2231.
This is a resolution authorizing execution and amendment of Section 5311 grant agreement. Whereas the provision of public transit service is essential to the transportation of persons in the non-urbanized area, and whereas 49 USC 5311, Section 5311, makes funds available to the state of Illinois to help offset certain operating deficits and administrative expenses of a system providing public transit service in non-urbanized areas. And whereas the state of Illinois, acting by and through the Illinois Department of Transportation, is authorized by 30 ILCS 740/3-1, etc., to provide the Section 5311 grant. And whereas grants for said funds will impose certain obligations upon the recipient, including the provisions of the local share of funds necessary to cover costs not covered by the funds provided under Section 5311. Now therefore be it resolved by the Governing Board of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit that an application be made to the Office of Intermodal Project Implementation, Department of Transportation, State of Illinois, for a financial assistance grant under Section 5311 for fiscal year 2023 for the purpose of offsetting a portion of the public transportation program operating deficits of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District. Section 2, that while participating in said operating assistance program, the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District will provide all required and local matching funds. Section 3, that the general manager of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District is hereby authorized and directed to execute and file on behalf of Greater Peoria Mass Transit District such application. Section 4, that the general manager of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District is authorized to furnish such additional information as may be required by the Office of Intermodal Project Implementation and the Federal Transit Administration in connection with the aforesaid application for said grant. Section 5, that the general manager of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District is hereby authorized and directed to execute and file on behalf of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District a Section 5311 grant agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation and amend such agreement if necessary in order to obtain grant assistance under the provisions of Section 5311 for the fiscal year of 2023. Section 6, that the general manager of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District is hereby authorized to provide such information and to file such documents as may be required to perform the agreement and to receive the grant for fiscal 2023.
Okay, can we get a motion to,
Okay.
all right, authorizing execution and amendment of section 5311, so it's been moved,
Second.
second, roll call vote,
Trustee Wortham,
approved.
trustee Hare,
Approved.
trustee Ahart,
Approved.
trustee Paul,
Approved.
and trustee McBride approves.
Thank you.
I'll turn it over to Nick now.
Okay, thank you. Resolution 2232. Okay. Hello, Nick.
Good evening. So the purpose of this summary is to recommend contract awards to River City Construction and A&J Electric to match upgrades at the transit center downtown to the new construction project. So in this resolution, there's two different contracts I'm going to go over. So the district would like to award River City a contract to remove existing hardware and install new locks and keys on all interior doors of the transit center. And we'd also like to award a contract to A&J Electric to upgrade camera systems at the transit center. So it's 6.1, alternate number 3, transit center hardware, it's $4,900 to River City Construction. And then alternate number 12, the transit center cameras, $78,134 to A&J Electric. So in bidding it this way, we will eliminate having multiple contracts, multiple vendors, multiple maintenance plans, different camera types that we would have here versus down there, different login systems. And the same would be true for the locks and keys. So if we were to bid this out at a different time, like say after the project's done, whatever they bid at a future time, probably wouldn't match what's going to be down here. So instead of having, just boatloads of keys and all these different software and camera types, that's why we chose to bid it out this way. So whenever they install their stuff here, they're also going to match it down there. Plus the locks and keys need to be replaced, and so do the cameras. So they will end up doing about 40 different cameras.
So do we need to look at this separately, or we can do them both together?
You're going to award each one. They're separate.
They're separate. Thank
Yes.
you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I have a
So
question.
okay.
You said a new NVR, an existing cabinet, what is that?
that's the new. They'll probably put in new switches and yeah, the servers. That's the word I was looking for. So whenever you get new operating systems for any kind of technology, especially cameras, you have to have a storage system in order to house all that software and all that data. So that's what they would need to do. They couldn't just use what's existing. So it's a whole new, I have to show it to you. It's a big camera. It's a big rack that you put all these different computers in, basically, that all the information would download to that. Then we would have access to that. So it is recommended that the Board of Trustees authorize the general manager to execute contracts with River City Construction in an amount not to exceed $4,900 for the transit center hardware upgrades, and A&J Electric in an amount not to exceed $78,134 for the camera upgrades.
Okay, we do River City first. for the 4,900. Okay, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call vote,
Trustee Wortham,
approved.
trustee Hare,
Approved.
trustee Ahart,
Approved.
trustee Polk,
Approved.
trustee McBride approves.
Okay, and the next one is A and J, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can I get a motion for approve what contract with A and J Electric for 78,100? Oh, okay, $78,134.
I'll make motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, roll call vote,
Trustee Wortham,
approved.
trustee Hare,
Approved.
trustee Ahart,
Approved.
trustee Polk,
Approved.
trustee McBride.
Thank you. You got more, Doug? Nick, oh, you Doug.
I have a lot more for the next one.
Okay.
Are you sitting down for this one?
Yeah. I might be up here for a sec.
Okay.
Go over all this for you.
Okay.
Are you ready? Okay. So this is resolution 22-33. So the purpose of this summary is to recommend the approval of bid packages for the new maintenance operation and admin building and all the maintenance buildings for phases B, C, and D, and to approve the new guaranteed maximum price. So on January 20th of this year, the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District issued invitation for bids for all the packages associated with the remaining phases, which are B, C, and D. There were numerous bids received as a respect of this solicitation. So I'm just going to run through each one of them and just list off which one's won.
Okay.
So the building retaining wall, River City Construction won that one for $2,020,000. The masonry, which is the next one, J.J. Breaker and Sons, $231,000. General Works, River City Construction, $7,135,000. The electrical and safety and security was A&J Electric, $5,284,640. The next one, earthwork and excavation, A&E Finch, $2,250,000. The next one, site concrete and paving, that would be Illinois Civil Contractors, which is ICCI, $1,622,864. Then the next bid package, asphalt paving, Tazewell County Asphalt, $297,348. Next one, site utilities, G.A. Rich and Sons, $257,999.
Okay.
So it's gonna be one package.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just listing off all the different packages that are associated.
Okay.
with this big
So you can look at it.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Under the site concrete paving, well, you have it up above too, but you show deductions or minuses.
She's going to explain more, because there's so many of them.
That's it, okay.
There's different, just let her explain
Yeah.
it. Just trust me, she's very good at explaining this.
But we can
Okay,
do
so
all of it
on
together.
the, site paving, for ICCI, they provided a voluntary alternate to deduct 100,000, and that is due to any pinch will take the ground from their storm all the way up to 6 inches below the concrete. And then ICCI will handle the granule base under that for that 6 inches. So they're giving back 100,000 because any pinch has it covered. So that's a voluntary alternate that obviously we want to take because it's double plated there. What other alternates do you want me to discuss?
I found some others, but that one just stuck out because it was,
It's a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
They did, because the scope was a little convoluted when we did it. So both contractors covered it to make sure we did, and then they came in and we did the scope review and said, hey, this, if they have it covered, we'll give you this back. So,
They worked-
yeah, they did.
Yeah, a lot of the contractors that work together, so there's give and take with different bid packages, because there were so many. Some are more specialized for one company versus another. It's like, we can do this part, you do that part to get us this part kind of thing. That's why there's so many different, you keep saying the deducts.
The A and J deducts for the electrical. So we had an ad for the fuel island. They're gonna add in a couple lights. And then they have the vehicle lift deduct. So we originally had additional vehicle lifts, the mechanical or the electrical running to it. Since we deleted one, they will deduct $1,100 to not do any electrical. Same with the bridge crane deduct. Since one of those got deleted, we are deducting the electrical that goes to that to make it run. And then the north parking lot originally had 8 cameras in it, and we are deleting 6. So they're giving back $25,400. Any Finch, let's see, we'll just do those alternates. The north parking lot, that is the additional parking that was on my layout earlier. I have it.
Parking lot.
You see that red, if you go back.
Oh, you want this one?
Yeah, if you go to my.
Oh, you want this, okay.
There you go. So the current employee parking right there that's fenced in, it'll be the additional of $40,000 to complete that same thing. Gravel that and fence around it, and then the employees will park there. And then the contractors are going to park in that back triangle, and we're gonna do the same thing, and that is the contractor parking and staging area for the add of $50,000. And then they're on the retaining wall connecting from phase A to phase B, C, and D. There is a section about 80 feet of retaining wall that's getting deducted, so they are supplying a $2,500 deduct to that.
We realized we didn't need to rip all that out. So to save money, we just, during the edits, we just took that part back out.
The other,
She has so much of it memorized.
the other deducts are for River City Construction, the general works, again, since we're deducting a vehicle lift, that's the actual lift itself. So, or I'm sorry, the work for that, I apologize. $13,500, and then River City Construction is again deducting the retaining wall deduct, which is $100,000 for that 80 feet again. So it's repetitious just because each discipline has a different portion to it.
The specialties.
Mhm.
It's
And
like
then-
you deduct one thing, it affects all these other specialties, so.
And then moving into the general works, okay, that's the actual vehicle lift deduct, and that's a deduct from River City Construction for $560,000. We're deducting one bridge crane, that's a deduct of $100,000. The vinyl fencing deduct and the steel picket fencing deduct is all deductions for fencing that will be going around that back portion, north end there. So it's just changing from vinyl fencing and then changing out steel picket fencing to like a chain link fence
So it's
on the
not,
back portion where you won't see it from the street.
a lot of our deducts, when we started reviewing what the bids were coming in as, we start to think amongst ourselves, like, well, we don't need 10 bus lifts anymore. We really only need 8. And then a bridge crane, for example, we figured out we don't really need 2. That's kind of a more of a want than it needs. We do need 1, so we deducted that. And that affects the actual machine itself. That affects wiring the thing. That affects structural steel. That affects so much. And we just start deduct. That's what a lot of those are. So.
And then the last one for the general works is the loop room galvanized grate. We did a deduct for $4,700. We came up with a different grate. That way you can drive over it and you wouldn't need this much high tech. So,
Now, my question is, do we have to do every one of these, or can we do this in
The
one?
resolution,
Just one?
It's
Okay.
one.
so
Okay.
don't.
Thank you very much. That's all it.
Where am I at?
Resolution 2233, right? That's where you are.
No, I'm saying which package was it on? So I think it was a painting.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah, so Bedrock Painting won that bid package at $375,000.
Okay, what number is that?
Yeah, I did that one. I'm at 9.2.
Okay, I see it.
Okay. Keep on going. So we're a metal frame building, A&H Steel won that one, $1,417,000. Elevators, Schneidler Elevator, $255,000. Fire protection, which is 21.1. The Hitchcock Company, $415,840. Plumbing, which is 22.1. one Mahoney Mechanical, 600 and.
No. We're doing the combo.
Oh, we're doing the combo, sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad, I'm sorry, I highlighted the wrong one. Plumbing, 22.1, the Tobin Brothers combination pit, 1,266,000.
And it's a combo with
It's a
plumbing
combo.
and site utilities.
And then HVAC, so Pitco, $3,297,000. So you take all these bid packages and then you add them up, and that gives you a grand total new price of $43,611,308.98. This is the fifth amendment to the project we've come before you. And one thing that I've just wanted to say for a very long time, it has been to get to this date is very exciting. I've been here for 3.5 years, and I remember the day he interviewed me, he talked about this building, so he's been planning this for many, many years. This is long overdue.
And we're on phase B.
Right now, we're still finishing up phase A, and once all this gets approved, we will transition
To B.
to B. Phase A is scheduled to be done at the end of April,
Okay.
which is the back rear building that you see now. So it is recommended that the Board of Trustees awards the purchase of the Phase B, C, and D packages, along with the approval of the new guaranteed maximum price of $43,611,308.98.
Can I get a motion to do so?
I'll be glad to.
Okay, a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we'll move it in second, that, resolution 2233 be approved. Roll call vote.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I was also supposed to be at a 4th of July meeting for West Peoria, and I said, well, I think our budget here is gonna be higher than the rate. 98 cents, maybe, no. Trustee Wortham,
Approved.
trustee Hare,
Approved.
trustee Ahart,
Approved.
trustee Polk,
Approved.
trustee McBride, approved.
Thank you.
Have
Nick.
at it.
So thank you. We're
Thank you. We expect to see some big changes in the next 2 weeks, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
As soon as I leave, I'm starting.
Okay.
I could walk you through those two after this meeting if you want me to. I really did that.
Next thing, can I ask a question real quick?
Question?
What is the tentative date of, I know we've talked about this, what is the tentative date for Phase D to be done?
It'll be December of 2023.
2023,
And
okay.
as long as everything, keeps moving,
Okay.
so we may lean into January, but that is what we're putting in the
Okay.
amendment.
December 2023.
Yes.
I'm
So
putting
you
this
do
down.
maintenance base, and then your 3-story building, maintenance, operations, then administration, maybe May, June of next
Correct.
year.
So we will get everybody moved over in the admin building in May or June of next year, and then we'll go right into C&D and do that after everyone's moved over.
So once the building is complete and functional, everybody from this building and everybody from the south building, which is staying, so like dispatch, like Steve Green and Jason, they will move over to that building, then she will turn her attention to remodel that building.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, exciting. Okay, finance report.
Thank you.
Christine. Okay.
This just summarize our February 2021, all our district financial activity for your approval. In the February, we compare with our monthly projection. We spend less than we planned for that. The total dollar amount will be for your approval is operating expense for $2,723,474.12. As usual, we spend most money under the payroll, employee benefit, pension, insurance, paratransit, transportation purchase, and also the big one, the professional service, other than normal. Therefore, for staff recommend for approve February financial activity for the dollar amount $2,723,407.40.12.
Okay, can I motion? So moved. Okay, second. Been moved in second that we accept the financial report for February. Roll call vote.
roll call vote. Trustee Wortham,
Approved?
trustee Air,
Approved.
trustee Ahart,
Approved.
trustee Polk,
Approved.
and trustee McBride approves.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, our future meetings, I'll give you a reminder, they will be April 11th and May the 2nd at 5:30 PM. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
Yes.
Can I get a second? Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned. Okay, good meeting.